it's almost similar to when the blood is actually flowing. After a few minutes, I could actually see that some of the red blood cells started to become a little bit irregular. These are called echinocytes. These are essentially red blood cells that start to deform because they start to lose water. And this is a very nice picture here as well, where you can see that there are some of the red blood cells streaming across the slide, and on the side, this is where the blood already started to coagulate and to stick to the glass slide. It almost looks a little bit like blood passing through a blood vessel. This here is in phase contrast, and this actually I think looks also quite beautiful, mix with each other, and then this is when essentially the salt water was able to do its action, and by osmosis the blood cells started to lose water, and as the water streamed across, I was trying to follow along some of those red blood cells. Off we go. The movement was so quick that I was not able to see the change in shape, but then I stopped the microscope slide and look carefully. Well, gone is the nice round shape, and the cells are much smaller right now, and they're kind of shriveled up a little bit and quite irregular because, of course, there are wrinkles, and because the central part of the cell started to shrink, and because the water was all removed. And of course this means that the cells are not able to transport oxygen anymore, but luckily, of course, I think that this is not really a very realistic scenario, because normally we do not get so much salt into our blood, but normally this is also something that essentially now shows why drinking salt water is not the best thing to do. Yeah, and here again you see a little bit of streaming of the red blood cells, very irregular right now, and very misshapen them a little bit. Something I did not try is I did not try to reverse the process. Maybe that's the topic of another video. And here again there is the streaming now of the red blood cells as the salt water and as the blood starts to mix beneath the cover glass. Now, I personally think that blood is a very interesting thing to observe. If you have a bright field microscope, of course, you can also observe the blood cells this way. I would recommend that you actually close the condenser quite a bit, because the contrast is not very high.